Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's time for the closing bell, February 17th, Thursday. Just 11 days left of this month. Holy cow, how time flies. Busy day today. This morning with Scott at the Breakfast Bankroll. This afternoon, took a quick trip out to the Windy City with our Thursday mid-major king himself, the one and only Mr. Colton Soroka, talking some sports, some college hoops. He gave us 3 games he's eyeing, and his, as he called it, the board break, the bookie breaker parlay, I think it is, and right around 572 for a 1 unit that he gifted us. And today, myself and Scott try to get you closer to that window with the last night of NBA before the break there. Some college basketball games and a few NHL games that have caught our eye. But without further ado, the man from the Palm Tree State himself, the one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Good afternoon, Scotty.
Jeffrey, how are you, my friend? Long time no see.
Yeah, I feel like Don King today, and my head spinning around like Carrie. But that's what happens when you get off the island for a half a day, and you come tiptoeing in at 2 a.m, and 3 shows, a couple conference calls, a trip to the doctor, and now it's 4:40. And we're off and running. I spewed a little venom with Colton. I'm going to spew it again. We talked about the 12 o'clock game, and these guys just amaze me in Vegas. 2 no-name schools, Buffalo and Eastern Michigan. We talked about the favorite getting steamed to 10.5. We didn't talk about the under-over that opened at 152. They got steamed to 152 and a hook. Okay. Final score, 83-69. The favorite covers, and miraculously, do you imagine this? Buffalo and Eastern Michigan. The opening under over was 152. My math says 83 plus 669 is 152. How the bleep did they do it?
Well, the truth, I think, here is that everybody goes out and goes, oh my God, these guys are putting up these numbers, and you don't even know what these numbers, how they're generating them. But there's algorithms and there's things in place that generate these numbers. And then they have guys that are there at the books that have experience in taking the wagers, and they are trying to put their slants on some different things because they have to manage risk. So ideally, you would think a game like this wouldn't matter that much because it is, like we talked about this morning, it's Buffalo and Eastern Michigan, for God's sakes. Looking at pregame, it had $118,000 bet on this game, Jeff. As it came down, and I get it. It's the only game on the docket for that time frame, but Towson and NC Wilmington has $32,000 bet on it. So they knew they had to be sharp on that game because people were going to play it. And then that Minnesota Penn State game, it's got $176,000 bet on it. So when these games come up and they start getting closer to tip time, people run out there and go, holy shit, there's a basketball game. I better bet it.
I used to always kid, we'd bet on 2 cockroaches if we put numbers on top of them and, to race around the corner. Shout out to Mr. Lucky. Love you, brother. Thank you for all the support that you give us here at ECSI. Can't wait to see you in a few weeks, as we watch some games, have some fine dinner, and hopefully cash some tickets. NBA, Scott, 5 games. Again, tricky because the fact that they're getting ready for the All-Star break. I'll pull up the board as we speak now. You talked at 10 o'clock this morning about him. Anything changed? Are you seeing anything different?
Yeah, I changed everything. I wasted my time this morning, Jeff. So this morning I talked about Milwaukee and I talked about Houston, right? I talked about those games. And Now I'm going to talk about two other games. I'm going to talk about Charlotte and Miami, and I think looking at my numbers and looking at the way these games are being bet and what's going on, there's a couple of things in play. One, I did talk about, I think, that Charlotte game under in the first segment today. And the number opened up at 226.5. That's where the number opened. And then it dropped to 224, and then it's kind of come back up to 225. Now it's all the way back up to 226.5. My number on this game is 220. And the way that Miami plays defense, now, granted, this is going to be a back-to-back night for them, so the defense might not quite be as stout, but they're going to be playing Charlotte, and Charlotte's been having trouble scoring. So I'm trying to pull up the number here. Let me get to it so I can tell you exactly where they are. But Charlotte is computer needs to speed up. Here we go. Offense. Charlotte is they are number 26, Jeff, in scoring in the last 2 weeks. So I don't like the idea that Charlotte's going to score a lot of points, and I don't like the idea that I think Miami's defense is pretty good here. It's not going to – I don't like the way the line is moving. I would take Charlotte at plus the 5, but I'm going to actually bet the under 226.5. That's what I played. And then the other game that I'm going to play, I hate to do these things, but the numbers say what they are. The betting action says to do what you're supposed to do. So I'm playing New Orleans today, Jeff. The game I didn't talk about, and my number comes in this game. It's 108. Well, I might as well just say 109, 108. New Orleans wins the game. And they're getting 2.5 points. The line opened at 3, so it's come down just a tick. But the reason I want to bet this game is Dallas just played in Miami last night. They played a pretty hard fought game, just like Miami. They played pretty close game there. I like the idea that we're going to be able to get a team that's kind of on the rise in New Orleans. They're playing pretty well, and New Orleans is actually now they are the 8th best offense going in the last 2 weeks. Their defense is 16th, so right in the middle of the pack. So they've been playing pretty well. And they're playing a team now in Dallas that is off the back-to-back, and they're on the road again. And then this is the last game before they go to All-Star break. So I like the younger New Orleans Pelicans tonight in that plus 2.5 number. And then when I looked at the wagering numbers, 74% of the money and 69% of the tickets are on Dallas, and the line dropped. So that tells me a little bit of something that I think that somewhere down the line, somebody made the number move, and I kind of agree with that. So I'm going with New Orleans plus the 2.5.
Yeah, I looked at that. I see the reverse line movement. I see a 54% of the bets, 69% of the money coming in on Dallas. We all know Dallas and Luka is a lightning rod. I see that one. The rest of the board to me looks, I'll say a tongue-in-cheek, a little braille. It's kind of funny that, would Brooklyn come back from 29 yesterday or something stupid like that? They came all the way back, and now they went from 3 to 4.5 point favorites. I would be waiting till after the break to start investing in Brooklyn personally. But again, I'm just trying to read the board there. And Philly's got egg on their face from a couple of days ago. They lost by 30 to the Celtics. Now they travel to Milwaukee. Tough game to gauge as well. I'm assuming Harden is not making his debut. I think
Harden's not going to play, Jeff, until after the All-Star break. So, and that's what they think anyway.
College ranks, Minnesota, Penn State, a whopping. Hey, you gave me crap about the what was their lids on the hoop at the UConn game, and Minnesota, Penn State 27-19. That could be a football score at halftime between Penn State and Minnesota.
That's why I struggle with college basketball. I just struggle with the sport.
That 6 o'clock game, I will tell you, Colton was on Wilmington plus the 3. This Wilmington team is just They just get no respect. They are the Rodney Dangerfield of their conference, and they're playing a Townsend team that's had great success for them in their past history. What really gets me here is the opening number. Again, a Wilmington team that has just been lights out, especially at home. A team that has had won 12 in a row. 3-point dogs at home. Vegas is telling me Townsend's the side there, but Wager Talk is saying 52% of the bets, 86% of the money is on Townsend.
Well, we're looking at $34,000 bet on this game. 53% of the money, 61% of the tickets on Townsend.
Guys, Eileen Townsend. I mean, Wilmington, we did get them. We stopped the streak. Eileen Townsend here. Colton's got Wilmington. I'm going to stay away. We got better fish to fry, as we'd like to say. But I think Townsend wins by 4 or more. But what do I know, right? So we'll go further down the board here. Rotation number 751, 752. ODU at Marshall. A game Marshall opened up at 1, now 2. 75% of the bets, 96% of the money on Marshall. Scott, I'd probably say there's about, what, 7,000 on that game?
13,000 on that game, Jeff. Woo. And 91% of the money, 93% of the tickets on Marshall.
Yeah, I can't back and follow something like that. I think, if I had to dive there, it would be ODU, but I'm going to stay away as well. Listen, guys, if you follow the public and you're following 70% of the tickets, 90% of the money, I'm telling you, long term, you're going to lose. Just buyer beware there. That's all.
Hey, good afternoon, Billy. Billy says hi to us, by the way.
Hello, William. I missed your call. I was actually on a conference call after the show. I will promise you I will call you back. Make sure you give Rebecca a big hug for us. Thank you there, sir. Roll Tide. Middle Tennessee State at Florida International, rotation number 753, 754. Again, 59% of the bets, 93% of the money on Middle Tennessee State. Opened at 4, stayed at 4, a line freeze.
Well, this shows $17,000 bet on this one. 90% of the money on Middle Tennessee State, 52% of the tickets on Florida International.
So a 52-48 split on tickets, 90% plus on money, and the line hasn't moved. Keep an eye on Florida International there, gentlemen. Big game in the Big Ten. We'll have Riley on tomorrow from 2 to 3 Eastern. The Big Ten guru himself. This is a good game for him. Michigan at Iowa, rotation number 757, 758. Iowa opened at 6, now 5. 65% of the bets, 64% of the money on Michigan.
Yeah, 72,000 on this one so far, and 56% of the bets and 54% of the tickets on Michigan.
They're starting to get their stride. This Iowa team at home is dangerous. You could have a 5-point lead, go to the bathroom, make a quick sandwich, sit back down, and you're down by 10. I'm going to stay away. I think the points are intriguing, but not on my watch today. So going to stay away from that one. Rotation number 763, 764, Wichita State at Cincinnati. The Shockers opened up 2.5-point underdogs, 3-point underdogs at our friends at Circa. Good afternoon, Mr. Stevens, Mr. Benson, and Mr. Metcalf. We will see you soon. 56% of the bets, 63% of the money on the Shockers. I think it's a Wichita State lean, but what are you seeing over at pregame, Scott?
Something totally different. 51,000 on this game, so it's a pretty popular bet game. 67% of the money, 57% of the tickets on Cincinnati.
Well, I like my lean on the Shockers even more. Wichita State plus 2.5. You might get them at 3 if you tiptoe down to Fremont Street over to the Circa. Probably get them around plus 125 on the money line. What do we got here? Let's see. South Florida got us real good the other day. I won't go down this road, but they're playing East Carolina. Opened at 1, now 2. 62% of the bets, 76% of the money on East Carolina.
Yeah, but not very much money. I mean, it's $7,000 bet on this game, and 67% of the money, 58% of the tickets on East Carolina.
South Florida would be the lean. I would probably play the money line minus 120, 125, but they got us good the other day against Tulane. So I have to dig deeper on that one. I gotta respect the power move here. I'm interested to see your numbers. Rotation number 783, 784. This is in Billy country. UL Lafayette versus UL Monroe. UL Lafayette opened up 1.5 point favorites, skyrocketed to 3.5. 50% of the bets, 94% of the money on Lafayette.
Yeah, this is kind of weird too, but there's only $11,000 on the game, and 63% of the money, 58% of the tickets on UL Monroe.
I'd respect. Take a look at UL Lafayette. See if you can get them to -3. This money line will be a little too steep, but I gotta respect the flip there. So and the power move. Lafayette -3 if you can get them there. Arizona 26-point favorites. No, thank you. No, thank you. Rotation number 825, 826, and 9 p.m. start. Montana State at Eastern Washington. Montana State opened up at 1.5, now 2.5 at Circa, and 2 at Westgate, at South Point, and Caesars.
Yeah, $5,600. So hardly anything on this game yet, and 56% of the money, 69% of the tickets on Montana State.
Yeah, stay away there. That the number intrigued me to have Eastern Washington as a dog at home. Oregon or Arizona State, one of the stenches tonight, rotation number 831, 832. You have absolutely zero idea or notion which Oregon team's going to show up or which Arizona State team shows up. If you go to the window and wager on this game, you're better off just opening the window and throwing the $100 bill outside and let someone else find it. You have no idea. We're all waiting for this Oregon big conference champion, big March Madness push. It hasn't happened. And Arizona State with Hurley, who's dead man walking, won't be there next year. This team, 15-point underdogs wins outright. 15-point favorites and loses by 30. You just save your money, guys. Watch it if you want, but save your money. Rotation number 833, 834. Colorado at Carolina. This one did catch my eye. Colorado opens up 1.5-point favorites, now 2.5-point favorites. I'm showing 67% of the bets, 94% of the money on Colorado.
Yeah, 18,000 on this one, 85% of the money, 85% of the tickets on Colorado.
That line opened up at 1.5 for a reason, guys. They knew they'd get the Buffalo money. Wait this one out right around 9 o'clock. Go to the window, grab California +3, grab them +125 on the money line. I think there's a live dog here waiting to pounce. 10 p.m. Great game here, guys. 835, 836 on the rotation number. Bill Russell, San Francisco versus St. Mary's, California. Opened at 3, stuck at 3. I'm showing 63% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Dons.
Yeah, 25,000 on this one, 59% of the money, 51% of the tickets on San Francisco.
I think they're a live dog. I don't like that they're a public dog, so I'm going to tread lightly there. We're going to wait later tonight to see where that one goes. Rotation number 849, 850, 10 p.m. start. Creighton at DePaul. DePaul opens at 3, now 2-point favorites. 66% of the bets, 74% of the money on Creighton.
Yeah, 25,000 on this one, 66% of the bets, 79% of the tickets on Creighton.
Again, guys, that line opened up DePaul -3. It didn't open up Creighton -3. They needed some Creighton money. I'm not saying Creighton isn't the right side here, guys. That's not what I'm saying. You just got to respect the opening number here. I bet you by tip-off, DePaul will be 1.5. I would shade the DePaul at home here. I think Creighton's been better at home versus on the road. They just living large off of their laurels with back-to-back wins against Georgetown. I think DePaul here, if you can get them at -118, 120 on the money line, would be the play there. St. Clara, Loyola, no thank you. Washington State, UCLA. Here's another one, guys. Rotation number 853, 854. Washington State travels to UCLA, 11 p.m. tip off. This line opened at 8.5, shot to 10. I think Washington State here would be the lean, but I'm showing 58% of the bets, 64% of the money on Washington State.
$33,000 bet on this game. 71% of the money, 76% of the tickets are on UCLA.
So this is showing the opposite, conflicting information. I think that number opened low for a reason. They got it to where they want that 10 spot. Listen, UCLA wins by 7, 8, or 9, maybe. I probably won't be going down these lanes, but I just think that number opened up too low. 11 p.m., 8:55, 8:56, Utah at Stanford. Stanford opened up at 5, now 4. 56% of the bets, 76% of the money on Stanford.
25,000 on the game, 64% of the money, 74% of the tickets on Stanford.
Reverse line movement on Utah. Keep an eye on the Utes plus the 4 and probably get them around 1 plus 135, 140 on the money line. Gonna head down to the Frozen Pond. I talked about this morning. There's some respected money that came in overnight on the Pens at Circa. Toronto opened up minus 150, now 138. Everywhere else, they're 145 or 140. So keep an eye on the Pens, plus the 126. I won't be dancing there, but again, I got to respect what Circa does. Jeff and Jeffrey Benson, Derek Stevens, Mr. Metcalf, all run an amazing book there. And when the number moves like that, it's respected money. So keep an eye there. The one that I've been talking about was the flip. It's kind of now came back, but the Bruins at the Islanders, rotation number 45, 46. Islanders opened up minus 125, now minus 110, even minus 105 at Westgate. I'm showing 75% of the bets, 96% of the money on the Bruins.
Yeah, this is 78% of the money, 83% of the tickets on the Bruins. $22,000 bet on the game.
I do lean the Bruins, but I think it might be too public, so probably end up backing off there. Here's one: Columbus and Chicago, rotation number 49 and 50. Chicago overnight opened up minus 170. They're now minus 123 at Circa. Showing 80% of the bets, 74% of the money on Columbus, Scott.
Yeah, 85% of the money, 65% of the tickets on Columbus.
Edmonton 3-0 since a new coach, opened up 235, now 205 against the Ducks, rotation number 51-52.
Yeah, we're showing 89% of the money on Edmonton and 84% of the tickets on Edmonton.
So listen, I'm going to stay away. The only way I could play that is Edmonton in regulation or the puck line, but it's too public and it's dropped 30 cents. I'm not going to go against the new coach theory of 3 games in a row. Ducks, I think, played last night too, so stay away. I'll give you the NHL player of the night. Rotation number 53-54, Vancouver at San Jose. San Jose opened up minus 110. Now Vancouver minus 112. I'm showing about a 70-70 split here.
Yeah, 75% of the money, 87% of the tickets on Vancouver.
Little too heavy on the public side. I do respect the flip. I will keep an eye on my timeline at EC Sports Invest tonight. And I'll throw out some tidbits on the hockey. Some sides that we leaned are a little too heavy on the public side right now. So, all right. Without further ado, it's that time of night. The one, the only Mr. Scotty Webb, in his words of wisdom.
Yeah, today we're going to talk a little bit about today's society and the wantingness to get to the end result, and in getting to the end result without really paying much attention to the in-between. So we're going to talk about enjoy the process, or or another way to say it is enjoy the journey, right? So, success. I like the idea here that um, success is not final, failure is not fatal, and it's the courage to continue that counts. And that's something from Winston Churchill. But it's the idea that you want to fight the fight and enjoy the time that you're in. The actual sort of definition for enjoy the journey is live in the moment and enjoy what that moment is about. If you because down the road you're going to come to realize that you are where you're meant to be at the time you're there, and you are meant to be doing the thing that you're doing. So if you, whatever it is that is, you should be enjoying that. And as you go down the line, you're going to create a memory, and it's going to be a memory that you can recall on and put a smile on your face, or it's going to be a memory that you can recall on that guides you and builds that intuition we talked about yesterday. And it can put you things that you can fall back on, or it's just a memory you can share with a loved one. Whatever it is, it's the idea that as you're going to the down the line of trying to create this successful pattern in life, where you are is where you're supposed to be, and what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. So enjoy that. And in our business, and what we do in the gambling side is, man, a lot of people, when they wager on these games, they don't even watch the game. They're afraid to watch the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of the game, and especially in basketball. Because that's a sport that they get runs and they go, oh my God, all that stuff. And it just works them up. So it's not just about the result. I mean, I get it. You want a good result, but as you're going through trying to create these good results, you must enjoy the time, because I'll go back and I'll tell you this. A lot of the things in my life and especially in my wagering world are memories about the games. Not necessarily about so much the results. Sometimes they're bad results, but the truth of the matter is you remember the games and you remember the things that happen, and you enjoy the process of going through things. There's nothing better than living your next day, or living that day after you've won some games, and have that smile on your face, and you're on cloud nine, and you're impenetrable. You are just going the king of the world, and that feeling then carries over into what you're doing for the next day's wagers, and that's how you have to sit there and enjoy the process, because ultimately, if you neglect those things, you never get those feelings. And if you never get those feelings, you're never at the top of your mental state and at the sharpest point that you can be to make the correct choices and decisions when you're making the wagers for the next day. So my suggestion is going to be this, and it's just as simple as I can make it. Just put yourself in a spot where you enjoy the process of getting to the end result, because the truth of the matter is, your end result is never going to be final. And if you fail, that's not fatal. So the difference is enjoying the process as you're getting those results. And I think you'll enjoy your life a little better.
I think we should pass the basket after that one, sir. We're getting closer to the weekend. Hopefully we're getting closer to some results in baseball. I know we keep bringing it up. I mean, I'm staying positive. You're staying positive. I think a deal is imminent. I cannot see them dragging their feet, so they have to start the season, in the middle of April instead of, March 31st or April 1st. So I still have the candles lit. I still watching my MLB network. I'm watching my High Heat with Christopher Russo and all those good things. So staying positive there. But as Billy
I
said,
would have liked to see some better outcome today. I think that there's two things. One, don't read into the length of time that they meet, because they're not really discussing nothing when they sit there and meet. One side's going, "Hey, here's our proposal. Go read it," and then the other side goes and reads it, and then goes, "Okay," and then they come out of the room, and then they tell the reporters what is in the thing, and then all the reporters do is they put their little spin on everything, and boy, I hate that. If you've learned me enough, some of you that watch the show, I cannot stand the editorial comments that these reporters put on stuff. I'll fight with all of them. They're not in the room. So if you're not in the room, then you don't know. So quit acting like you know, and quit trying to steer the public in certain ways. Anyway, that all being said, I would have liked to have had a better offer coming back from the players today, from what I understand. And the way I read through some of the things that were reported on in terms of what the offers were, it's not nearly enough to make something imminent. And really, I'm not sure if it's 100% enough to really even cause a stir. So I like what Jim Bowden says, and Jim Bowden basically is saying, look, somebody at some point in time is going to have to give an overwhelming offer, because they're just moving in millimeters, and they need to be moving in yards and feet at this point. So we need to get the process going a little faster, a little bigger steps to get these done. And then I think you'll see a thing. I still don't think there's going to be a delay in the games to start the season. I really don't.
I don't either. So, again, it's social media for a reason. They're going to spew what they want to spew. They're going to shade it and jade it any which way they want to. So follow who you follow and just keep the faith. I mean, for the people that don't like baseball, well, root against it. I don't care. And then, come July, when you got badminton and
ping pong,
water polo and ping pong. Yeah, it's amazing what kind of money's wagered on that. That's all underground. And the wink, wink, that's like that Texas Tech Baylor game last night. We won't go into that. So listen, everyone, have a night. Enjoy yourselves. Have some fun. It is a tough board. Be careful out there. Any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to myself at EC Sports Investor, Scotty at Webby20MLB, or send us an email at East Coast Sports Investors at gmail.com. If you haven't already, please jump on over to YouTube at East Coast Sports Investors and just subscribe, smash the like button. And if you are on Twitch, you can go over to East Coast Sports Investors and do the same there. So for myself, Jeff Dawson, and Scotty Webb, we bid you adieu. And anyone wagering, please wager responsible tonight. And if you have a problem, pick up that phone. There's an 800 number available. Myself and Scott, wishing to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. Why? Because we cared. God damn it, we care. So have a night, cash some tickets, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for the breakfast bankroll.